What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. We got an update. We got a live breaking news update. First of all, I want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning to all of y'all. I'm just waking up to this. Chauvin update, ladies and gentlemen. Found out early this morning that it wouldn't be televised. There was news cameras in the courtroom, but it wasn't going to be live. I guess we're going to see all of that hours from now. But the word is in, ladies and gentlemen. The word is in. I just woke up to it. Good morning to all y'all. Shout out to Level Resistance. Israel Jr. Feliciano. Loke A. Resistor, Weymouth, UK. Level Resistance, Perfect Sense Resistance. Queen Renetta Williams. Shout outs to Queen Renetta Williams, all the way from Wynn, Arkansas. Yeah, man, I just woke up. Derek Chauvin pleads guilty in federal court to violating George Floyd's civil rights. So I'm going to bring it to y'all. They got a little read on it. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just having my coffee. The best part of waking up is not giving a fuck. Derek Chauvin, ladies and gentlemen. Derek Chauvin. I sure know he gives a fuck. That's why he changed that guilty plea. He changed that not guilty plea into a guilty plea. We know he gave a lot of fucks this morning. Months after he was convicted of murder, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin pleaded guilty in federal court Wednesday to civil rights charges related to the death of George Floyd. Chauvin also pleaded guilty in a separate federal case in which he was accused of depriving the rights of a 14-year-old in Minneapolis in 2017. Remember that? That came out after the fact, after he killed George Floyd, that he choked out this 14-year-old. Mom called the cops on him. He was being a little abusive in the house, speaking of the 14-year-old. Chauvin shows up, and he chokes the boy out. Violates the civil rights. So he pled guilty on that as well. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors requested that Chauvin be sentenced to 300 months in prison, or 25 years, to be served concurrently with his current 22.5-year sentence on state murder charges. So that means he had 3 years added to his sentence. And it's just concurrent means it'll just be one lump sum. He'll do 25 years because of the Fed. The Feds is going to give him an extra 3 on top of the 22. And it's also better accommodations within federal prisons, okay? Oh, but he is their boy, okay? They can pull him up throughout that whole 25 years to be a witness in many, many trials to come. That's possible. The appearance came nearly 18 months after the former officer held his knee on Floyd's neck and back for 9 minutes and 26 seconds, while a 46-year-old black man, handcuffed and lying prone in the street, gasped for air and told Chauvin and other officers, "I can't breathe." Floyd's death on May 25, 2020 sparked protests nationwide against police brutality and racial injustice. In April, Chauvin was convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for Floyd's death, and was sentenced to 22.5 years in state prison. Under Minnesota law, Chauvin will have to serve 2/3 of his sentence, or 15 years, and then will be eligible for supervised release for the remaining 7.5 years. But on Wednesday, Chauvin appeared in federal court. That's today, ladies and gentlemen, about an hour ago, in St. Paul, Minnesota, dressed in an orange jumpsuit and admitted guilty. No suit this time, ladies and gentlemen. He came with his orange scrubs. And I'm pretty sure he was handcuffed hand and ankles. Okay? Doing the half two-step in the federal court. Assistant U.S. Attorney Alan Slaughter asked Chauvin to confirm details including in the plea agreement, specifically whether Chauvin held Floyd down on the ground even after Floyd became unresponsive. Correct, Chauvin said to each question asked by the prosecutor. He said correct, ladies and gentlemen. Finally got this motherfucker to come out his mouth and say something. And what he said is he admitted to violating George Floyd's civil rights. U.S. District Court Judge Paul Magnuson has not yet set a date for Chauvin's sentencing. Members of the Floyd family were present in the courtroom, as was the unidentified juvenile. Chauvin admitted to assaulting in 2017. Wow. So we had the juvenile, who was probably about 18, 19 years old, and he was in the courtroom today. The juvenile, the story that came out after he killed George Floyd in 2017, he ran up in his crib because the mother called because he was being a little abusive in the house, the little 14-year-old. Chauvin showed up. He chokes him out. He pled guilty to that because there was a lot of testimony that was going to come from the paramedics and, the mother. There was some shit going on that day in 2017 when Chauvin did that. And he got away with it. If he would have never killed George Floyd, it would have never came up. Guaranteed. Members of the Floyd family were present in the courtroom, as was the unidentified juvenile Chauvin admitted to assaulting in 2017. According to the pool reporters inside court, Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd, turned to the juvenile after hearing and said, "It's a good day for justice." He turned around, Philonise turned around and told the young boy, "It's a good day for justice." So what the federal indictments allege? The two federal indictments, unsealed in May, covered two separate incidents in which Chauvin kneeled on a person who was handcuffed and lying prone on their stomach. At this murder trial, medical experts testified that this position limits a person's ability to breathe in what's known as positional asphyxia. In the first federal indictment, Chauvin was accused of 2 counts connected to Floyd's death, including depriving Floyd's right to be free from unreasonable seizure, which includes the right to be free from the use of unreasonable force by a police officer. The indictment also charges Chauvin and former officers Tu Tao, J. Alexander Kung, and Thomas Lane with deprivation of rights under color of law for allegedly failing to give Floyd medical aid, the indictment states. Tao and Kung are also accused of failing to intervene in Chauvin's use of unreasonable force, according to the federal indictment. In addition, the second indictment relates to a similar incident in September 2017 in which Chauvin knelt on a 14-year-old knelt on a 14-year-old in Minneapolis. The indictment stated that Chauvin held the teenager by the throat, struck him in the head with a flashlight, and held his knee on the neck and upper back of the teenager, even after the teen was lying prone, handcuffed, and unresisting. Wow. That's crazy. This dude, and you know what? This dude been doing this. He's been doing this. This was years prior, before he killed George Floyd. And he started working, let's say around, as a police officer. He started around about 2001, between 2000 and 2002, within those years. And he's had a history of abusing people while on the job. This was trust me, the George Floyd incident didn't just start. He was doing that years in advance. And I'm just trying to pull up some proof right now, just to show y'all that he did it years in advance. Because I got some receipts as well. You know, throwing my, little journalism and videography. I've came up with some stuff. Bam. Thin Blue Line Slayer. Y'all remember him. He had a whole lot to say about Chauvin running up on him.
Spread my hands out in front of me. I'm scared to death, man. I don't want to get shot, man. And I got guns pointed all at me. So I get down on the ground, and I was in the street, so they just had poured that fresh gravel stuff. Like they'll pour their tar and then they pour that fresh gravel stuff. So I got my face down in the ground, and Derek Chauvin comes up, puts his knee in the back of my neck, and puts the gun in the back of my head. Stay down, nigger.
That's the Blue Line Slayer. And he said that happened way before any of this shit that we talking about went down. You can go in my catalog, check that out whenever you want to. It's called, let me put the title back up for you. The Minnesota Man, Thin Blue Line Slayer, discusses his first interaction with Derek Chauvin. And that interview was crazy. I'm telling you. Believe it or not, take it for what it is. Okay? I'm just telling you, this is part of my work right here. So if you want to check it out, dig in the crates. Shout out to everybody in chat. Rose M. Once again, the Queen Renetta Williams, Level Resistance, K-Cat. I see y'all. MD. Raging Cajun. What's up, Raging Cajun, my man? Scott William Grimley. Scott William Grimley's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Shawnee Flynn. What up, Shawnee Flynn? John Coca. We got John Coca. My man, John Coca. All right, back to the story. The indictment stated that Chauvin held the teenager by the throat, struck him in the head with a flashlight, and held his knee on the neck and upper back of the teenager, even after the teen was lying prone, handcuffed and unresisting. Tao, Kung, and Lane pleaded not guilty to the federal charges in September. They have also pleaded not guilty to state charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter in Floyd's death. That trial is currently set for March 2022. Whew. Oh, buddy, oh, pal. I said it a long time ago. I said, hey there, Mr. Chauvin, that's your ass. Your ass is grass. I said that a long time ago. Made a video out of it and everything. And, he tucking tail now. He realized that federal thing wasn't nothing to play with. He realized it was nothing to play with. Well, he probably could testify, I would say against, but it would be in cooperation of the prosecution when the other three officers go up. He could give up some damning testimony to seal their deal. Yes, he can. K-Cat says, I'm hoping they all go down. Love your song. Thank you, K-Cat. Appreciate that. Renetta Williams said this is a lot. And Jonathan Nicole, shout out to Jonathan Nicole. He said, did you see the doctor who testified in the Chauvin case saying Floyd died from exhaust fumes? Is now under investigation in over 100 motherfucking cases. Well, I be damned. Shout out to Jonathan Nicole. I didn't even know that. I did not know that. Scott William Grimley. SWAT did the same to me when he raided my neighbor upstairs house. Broke in, nearly shot my dad. Once I laid down, they were on me. Me in the back of the motherfucking neck because I looked up at them. Simply just looked up at them. They started yelling, "Stay down. Don't look at me with assault rifles," pointed right at my head. Scary shit. I bet it was. They the real terrorists. K-Cat says she's been watching for a long time. I'm pretty sure she's talking about this stream right here. Sorry if I recognize you late, K-Cat. Sorry about that. Shouts to Bobby Dennis. Good afternoon. I'm in. So Derek Chauvin, we ain't gonna worry about his punk ass for a long time. And it's a good chance that he might expire inside. It's a good chance of that shit. He might just expire. Shout out to Sweet as Sugar. Israel Jr. Feliciano. What we got up next? This is what we got up next, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. It's a wake and big morning. Moving right along. Found this video on Reddit. Usually I come with late news, but this is a revolving door. This YouTube game, it's a revolving door. You got a lot of people that stick with me. Got a lot of people that's sending out. There's new people poking their head in, and then they poke their head right back out. But we got our resistors. We do have our resistors. Shout out to Sweet as Sugar. She said, "Is it just me, or does anybody else hear chauvinist when they hear the name Chauvin?" Interesting. Scott William Grimley, smoking a blunt, bro. I'm in for a bit. I'm in it, and I can never get out of it. I could never stop bringing y'all this shit, because this shit is real. Medford, Oregon. I never thought I'd be in Oregon. I went to Oregon. I was in Oregon one time. Never thought that I'd be there. I never thought I'd make it to the West Coast. But exposing cops has sent me around the whole country. I'll be damned. Sent me around the whole country. But this is in Medford, Oregon, and it's just a body cam vid of over excessive force. It's crazy. Check it out.
Go to your left. Left. There you go. Yep, that way. Oh, what? That way. Walk over to my car. Sir. Walk to my car. Do you see that car right there?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you hold on to your dog.
Huh?
Your dog's
small. He's fine.
Shout out to Gordon Fields.
He's fine, sir.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
It's just for me. Just for me.
What drugs do you take today?
Meth, sir. I'm just tripping so hard.
Obviously. Walk over to my...
The officer asked him, "What drugs have you taken today?" He said, "Meth, sir, meth." The man was forthcoming. He was honest because, in all honesty, it's not a crime to be high, but it is a crime to have the drugs on you. All right? You really can't do nothing with a motherfucker who's just, he's high, unless he's really causing a problem. And there's reports that there was a little situation that happened in the store, and we'll get into that. But from this perception right here, if you guys were in the box, and I'm talking about forward on out with this video, if you were in the box in the courtroom, what would you judge this? How would you rule on this?
My car.
Okay.
I want you to use your 2 feet and walk over to my car.
Yeah.
Look at me. Walk over to my car.
Hey, bro.
Shout out Schofield.
Bro, walk over to my car. Before I make you walk over to my car and take your dog. And then guess what?
Walk over to my car before I make you walk over and take your dog.
Before I make you walk over to my car and take your dog. And then guess what? You won't have a dog anymore.
Shout out Sharon
You know what
Calloway.
you want?
No,
Step to the front of my fucking car.
oh, sure.
Wow. When you hear a guy with a badge and a gun talk to you like that, that's some scary shit. Go to my fucking car. That's some scary shit right there.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay, sit down.
Oh, shit. Stop.
Sit down.
Okay.
Stay there.
Look at the dog.
Stop.
The dog is just as scared as hell. The dog don't want no smoke neither.
55 step foot cover. Stop.
Look at the dog.
Stop. You hear me? You hear me? Put your hands behind your back.
Sheriff, stop, please.
You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
Okay, stop.
Put your hands behind your back.
Do you see this shit? This is crazy.
Hello?
Put your hands behind your back.
Sir. Hello?
Put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Holy shit. Look at these crazy fucking cops. Wow. They tasing him. They tasing the shit out of him. Shout out to John Brown's Ghost. Now you tell me, regardless of what happened in the store, as long as nobody got their head blown the fuck off, or no major cash was taken out the safe, is this warranted to this man? I mean, the man was forthcoming. You could tell he was just as timid and scared when he came forthright and said that he was high off of meth. I don't know who was more scared, him or the dog. But the man obviously wasn't a threat to that police officer. Do you think that was warranted? They still digging in his ass as if he's just did some egregious shit. Shout out to Tracy Thompson. The man has not resisted since the first police officer shown up. Is not resisted since the first police officer showed the fuck up. They are beating his ass in the middle of the gas station for no reason. And I keep trying to tell you, they'll do it to you. They'll do it to your grandma. They'll do it to your aunt. They'll do it to Miss Lucy down the street. They don't give a fuck. And along with them tasing them and trying to get the cuffs on them, they also applying pressure points to his wrist.
Relax. No. Calm down. Stop resisting. You understand that? Stop. Hey.
guys. He said his mental illness challenged the cop's ego. Definitely did. He didn't know how to handle it. He probably was scared as soon as the man told him he was high off meth. So he just, went berserko and took it all the way to the fourth tier, which it was no reason for that to happen. There was no reason for him to take him down like that. The other officers, they just followed right behind the first officer. They did what he was doing. They had no idea what the fuck was going on, so they just jumped in with kicking his ass.
She can go. I said that, brother.
Hobble.
I said that.
Be hobble.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Hobble leg shackles.
My brother's got everything.
Hobble leg shackles.
Hobble leg shackles. Hobble leg shackles. Let's bring that out. Is that on the menu tonight, guys? Of course it is, Sarge. Throw it on his ass.
Everything. I said everything.
I don't know. Now we're over there. Stop moving. Hold still. Relax.
No doubt, ladies and gentlemen, they are fucking him up. They putting the works on him. Okay? This is the bebops. They just shaking this shit down on him. No joke. And this ain't nothing to be making no jokes about, but this is real. Okay? I try to give it to you in a language you can understand. All right? How you can understand visually and by me saying it to you. I just try to smooth it over to you as easy as possible. I hate the fact I got to stoop this low to bring it to you like this, but I just got to give it to you in a language you understand.
Calm down. We got an ambulance on the way. Calm down.
Please, come on.
Might have some one in my car.
I already got me.
Right here.
Please, stop.
I should have shackles.
Yeah! No,
You got one?
God, please, no.
Outcrying. Outcrying to his maker. He's saying, God, please help. God, please help. Almost starting to become blood curdling because they're applying so much of an ass whooping on him. Medford, Oregon, ladies and gentlemen. Medford, Oregon.
Roger.
I can't read it. I just want to
I don't know. I was gonna get his name, and then I was like, "Let's sit in my car." He's like, "I'm going." I was like, "Sit in my car." And I was like, "Sit in my fucking car." God.
He's speaking in Spanish and he's speaking that shit fluently, and he's trying to get it across to anybody that's listening. And I would imagine he's saying, please get them the fuck off of me. I didn't do anything wrong.
With that? Yeah, go for me.
Is everybody alright? Yeah. You guys want to swap up there? Yeah. Look at me. You get punched on his blood.
Did you get cut on the lip?
Yeah, Spencer, tag out.
What are you doing? Tag out.
They're worried about a cut on the officer's lip. Of course they are. They take care of their own. After damn near killing this man in front of a goddamn gas pump.
Yeah, tag out. You good? Alright. Boys and girls, what car are we on then? Right the closest one?
Spencer's car, right? Spencer, is this your car?
No,
Alright. That's a pretty good boy. 4 of us. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Stop. Please stop it.
And just watch out for positional section.
Easy. Hey.
No.
So now you got witnesses that's going to be willing to give up, the information of what happened in the store.
You hit his head? Or you punch him? He strikes. Oh.
Don't do that.
I didn't think I got him because it was.
Hey, Dylan. Roll his window up.
All right, here we go with the read. Let me blow it up a little bit. Suspect's attorney claims excessive force used an MPD arrest from earlier this year, January 2021. Recently released BodyCam footage that the Oregonian has acquired shows Medford Police Department officers using force to detain a man who was allegedly trespassing at the Circle K at Central Avenue and Barnett Road shortly after midnight on January 25th, 2021. Okay, trespassing. All this for trespassing. Wow. Let me blow this up a little bit. Medford, Oregon. Recently released BodyCam footage that the Oregonian has acquired. Okay, I read that. In the video, the suspect, identified as Noel Palomera-Vasquez, disclosed to law enforcement that he was on methamphetamine. Shortly later, Palomera-Vasquez moved outside of the store when law enforcement arrived, but refused to comply with additional law enforcement commands. In the video, you can see that Palomera-Vasquez physically resisting when officers attempted to take him into custody, resulting in an exchange on the ground. I don't think that was so clear. That was not so clear that he was physically resisting. He was high, and he admitted that he was high. Okay, this should have been a different approach taken. First of all, he should have been calling medical from the gate. Nah, he ain't do that. First thing the officer wanted to do was to go hands-on. Was talking to him very aggressively. Go the fuck to my car. If you don't go to my car, I'm going to make you go to my car and I'm going to take your dog. And then you know what? You're not going to have a dog. Come on, man. Come on. Medford police have told Newswatch 12 that during the exchange, that force was needed, including focused blows and a taser that were utilized in order to obtain control of the suspect. Police say that after the suspect was successfully restrained, he was immediately checked by independent medical personnel. According to a report done by the Oregonian, Palomera-Vasquez's attorney states that her client came away from the encounter with head and back injuries and broken ribs, but also a felony assault charge after one of the officers suffered a cut in the fracas that caused what he later described as a tingling sensation on his upper fucking lip. You bitch. You fucking bitch. All that shit that you did to that man, you talking about a tingling upon the fracas? You bitch motherfucker. According to an indictment, Palomera-Vasquez was charged with one count of assault of a public safety officer, resisting arrest, interfering with a peace officer, and criminal trespass in the second degree. The Medford Police Department has told Newswatch 12 that the use of force was reviewed and determined to be within policy. Lieutenant Boudreau with MPD also told Newswatch 12 that the use of force stats vary slightly year to year, but are fairly consistent, and that MPD's use of force is used in less than 3% of their arrests. So this ass whooping basically don't count compared to how they do overall. Okay? That's just what they trying to get across the Shout out to Renetta Williams. She says he need a tingling on his whole ass. Yeah. They should take him to the middle of the town, and everybody should get a chance to kick him in his ass one by one. Surely he'll die. Everybody in town kick him in his ass. Yeah, he'll be dead by the end of the day. He ain't gonna be able to take that. But that's what he did to that man. He fucked him up. Nobody's talking about that because Boudreaux said with MPD also told Newswatch 12 that the use of force stats vary slightly year to year, but are fairly consistent, and that MPD's use of force is used in less than 3% of their arrests. So it don't even fucking matter. Newswatch 12 spoke to Palomera-Vasquez's attorney, Christine Herbert, who told us that they believe that after watching the video, excessive force was used in the arrest. Herbert also told Newswatch 12 on Saturday that the use of force was uncharacteristic of what she has seen in the past by Medford police officers and was disappointed by the responses taken by police officers during the altercation. Newswatch 12 is working to find out more information from Palomera-Vasquez's attorney on what happened the night of his arrest. We have also obtained BodyCam video that day and are working to process that footage. And look at this. Let me minimize this real quick. This is what he was charged with. In the Circuit Court of the State of Oregon for the County of Jackson. State of Oregon is the plaintiff versus Noel Palomera-Vasquez, the defendant. And y'all can, check this out. This is public record, court number 21CR04161, State of Oregon. The defendant is accused by the grand jury for Jackson County of the following offenses: assaulting a public safety officer. That's count 1. Count 2 is resisting arrest. Count 3, interfering with a peace officer. Count 4, criminal trespass in the second degree. Committed as follows. Count 1, assaulting a public safety officer. The defendant on or about January 25th, 2021 in Jackson County did unlawfully and knowingly cause physical injury to Officer Spencer, a person defendant knew to be a peace officer, while Officer Spencer was acting in the course of official duty. Goddamn. They lying like shit. Count 2, resisting arrest. The defendant on or about January 25th, 2021 in Jackson County did unlawfully and intentionally resist Officer Spencer and or Officer Martin, a person known to the defendant to be a peace officer, in making an arrest. So they just covering the whole board. Count 3, interfering with a peace officer. The defendant on or about January 25th, 2021 in Jackson County, Oregon, did unlawfully and knowingly refuse to obey a lawful order of Officer Spencer and or Officer Martin, a person known by the defendant to be a peace officer, which order was to sit down. Count 4, criminal trespass in the second degree. The defendant on about January 25th in Jackson County did unlawfully and knowingly enter or remain in or upon the premises located at South Riverside. No, he told him to leave. He told him to leave out, and he left. All of the above described conduct being contrary to the statutes in such cases. I'm not able to see this whole page. Give me a second. All of the above described conduct being contrary to the statutes in such cases made and provided, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Oregon. Dated at Medford, Oregon, in the county, aforesaid January 26, 2021. And I couldn't see this part earlier, so let me just make sure. Oh, which order was sit down? The defendant did unlawfully and knowingly refuse to obey a lawful order, which was to sit down. Mm-hmm. And we got a little bit more video.
Do it, check.
Right there where it's bleeding like 3 times. 2 or 3 times.
He came in the store, him and his girl were arguing, and then he stood behind here and he wouldn't leave.
Where's his girl at?
No idea.
Was he in a vehicle?
No.
Where's the dog?
No idea.
So his girl and the dog all came in the store? What'd the dog look like?
Brown and white.
You know about what breed?
It's a pit bull. Red nose.
Alright. So they're arguing, didn't they get physical between the two of them?
Huh?
Did they get physical between the two
Shout
of
outs
them?
to Rose M.
She has come up here a couple times.
Do you know her name? No. Alright.
She's come up here to try to call you guys because her name was beaten.
Alright. So she comes here fairly frequently?
Huh?
She comes here fairly frequently?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry too. I get
Shout outs
the last
Perfect
thing
Sense
he wants to talk to the
Resistance.
police, but
I honestly, I don't like that.
I-124Q.
That's cool. But we come here for a reason, so
I
obviously we gotta go through the motions, man. So does she leave?
I'm assuming.
Level Resistance.
And then what does he start doing in the store?
He was. I mean, his stuff is still over there too. I don't know. These turns.
What happened to the dog, y'all? The cop made good on his word, huh? He took that dog. That man ain't never gonna see that dog again. He told him that. He's never gonna see that dog again.
Kind of arguing at each other, and then she started to walk off, and then he got scared or something. He walked behind here. I tried to push him back to get him out.
Behind the counter?
Yeah. And he kept pushing back. He went all the way to the back. Adrian was trying to get him to leave. He's like, I'm high, I'm tripping, and I'm scared.
What was he trying to do behind the counter?
No idea.
Did he make it back behind the counter?
No, he didn't get past like this part. He just got past like, in the kitchen area. He didn't get behind. He didn't get close to the registers or nothing. He didn't try to.
So he said he's high and scared, and once you pushed him back, where did he go?
Just went back there. He went leave.
Back behind the counter, or it's back in the store?
He wouldn't leave because he was high. He just said he put his hands on him. And after he put his hands on him, it just stood there. He was high. It could have been a way better approach to this. Not violence.
Back in that office?
Yeah. Well, the office isn't open. It's closed. But in that area.
And you guys told him multiple times to leave and you wouldn't?
Yeah. She could probably explain it better than me.
All right.
Yeah, he realized he's saying too much. Now he want to pass it off to another person. Yeah, she probably could say it better than I can. I've given you guys enough. Running his mouth. Almost got this man killed. I didn't hear one time that he was violent towards none of these people. It's just that he didn't listen to what they had to say. If I'm wrong, check me in the comments. I missed stuff too, but I didn't hear one time that he was violent to anybody in the store. Just didn't follow the orders. And then we know he didn't follow police orders because he was high. He tensed up. He was stiff. It's just crazy.
then once the officers got here, what happened?
He got out. He wanted to go to the car, and that's when 5, 6 of you guys showed up.
All right. So did you follow the officer out of the store?
Yeah, he followed him up to about the sidewalk, and he went up to his car. Resisting, I guess.
Look how uncomfortable he looked now as he's telling more of the story. Like he don't want no parts of it.
Follow the officer out of the store?
Yeah, he followed him up to about the sidewalk, and he went up to his car.
Hands in his mouth, hands in his pocket, hands in the air. Look at him.
All right. And then once the officers got here, what happened?
He got out. He wanted to go to the car, and that's when 5, 6 of you guys showed up.
All right. So did you follow the officer out of the store?
Yeah, he followed him up to about the sidewalk, and he went up to his car. Resisting, I guess.
Did it get physical?
A little bit.
What happened?
He went and walked.
So what did the officer do?
I was supposed to talk to his other things, so I thought y'all had it.
But I just want to know what did you observe, dude? So
I
you wouldn't go to the car, and so then what happened?
I got it all on video.
All right.
Well, I mean, first you tackled him, and then the girl came.
He got it all on video, but he want to talk about it too.
Was he fighting?
Huh?
Was he fighting, resisting?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looked like. I you guys getting their own shit.
No, the suspect.
Yeah. Same.
Shout out
So
to
he was
OKC
resisting
Cap.
taking the arrest?
Was he resisting?
OKC Cap.
No, he was resisting.
You have to give what you feel because
Yes, he was resisting. That's what it looked like. 6 of you guys on him.
He was just in there where the cashiers are and standing back there being a weirdo. And I was just like, dude, you need to get the fuck.
Standing back there being a weirdo. Now it's starting to come out. Okay? We know that he's high off of methamphetamine. But the people saying he's standing back there being a weirdo. Weirdo is never in no law books stating that it's a crime. Like I said, better approach should have been, there should have been a better approach to handling this man rather than to go to straight violence.
Like 6 of you guys on him.
He was just in there where the cashiers are and standing back there being a weirdo. And I was just like, dude, you need to get the fuck out of their space. Like, you don't got a mask, you're just need to get out of there. So we started going, then hesitated, then they came in. And
The cops came in?
Yeah, one of them told him to walk out. And then he just kept flipping out like
Shout out to Underneath Deception Lies Reality.
What happened when we got out here? Did you see what happened?
The dog was going towards them, so I grabbed the dog.
Oh, cool. Thank you for that.
Pulled away and fucking got the dog.
You might have to take that back. It sounded like he said he was standing like near the cash register. So if he was doing that, then that was definitely a problem. But yet and still, when these police approached this dude, he did not display any acts of violence, aggressiveness, not even ill intent. He actually was forthcoming in saying that, hey, I'm high off of meth. And what the officer do, he couldn't get the control that he wanted. So because he couldn't control the situation the way he needed it, he went straight to excessive force, which is crazy. I hope that this guy gets a big payback. He deserves it. He didn't deserve that ass whooping in that gas station that night. January 25th, 2021, Medford, Oregon.
Okay, cool.
Give it to the lady. Yeah, the dog was going after them.
Okay. And what about him? What was he doing? Was he going after him too?
Him?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was already on the ground by then.
Oh, but the dog was no trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then hesitated, and they came in. And
The cops came in?
one of them came in and told him to walk out. And then he just kept flipping out like Being an idiot, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. What happened when you got out here? Did you see what happened?
Oh yeah, the dog was going towards them, so I grabbed the dog.
Oh, cool. Thank you for
Pulled
that.
it away and fucking got the dog over there.
Okay, cool.
Give it to the lady.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're gonna wrap
And
this
what about
up.
him? What was he doing? Was he
Hopefully,
going
I
after
can
him too?
find some content for y'all tonight.
I said he was already on the ground by then.
Oh, but the dog was going through. Okay.
It's been lovely hanging out with y'all. I appreciate that. Netta Williams, Level Resistance, I-124Q, Joe O'Toole. Shouts to Joe O'Toole. Underneath Deception Lies Reality, Gordon Field, OKC Cal, Perfect Sense Resistance, John Brown's Ghost. Appreciate y'all. Scott William Grimley, Go Fives. Rose M. Y'all make sure y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. It's been real. Till next time.